I said, I can't give it to you. Fortunately, we had just gone public, so I can't just write checks. I wouldn't write a check anyway. Make a long, and they wanted their money back, and I couldn't give it to them. So he caused me, a lot of problems. He called for EGM, Extraordinary General Meeting. We had shareholders. We had a big fucking fight. And then ultimately, Mr. Shouty went to jail, and went to prison. And he liked the deal so much, he got a couple of guys from the Gambino family to invest in the deal. And so we had a bunch of money from two mafia families invested in our deal.
But even then, you have all your fingers.
I have all my fingers, yeah.
It's not
because I started carrying a gun. I'm not like you. You tell me you're going to fuck me, I shoot you in the head. I don't call a lawyer. I'm accused of taking a contract out on his granddaughter. That's what I'm accused of. Did I? You fuck with me. See, I come from the fucking ghetto. I'm not gonna try to intellectualize it like Robert does. I just go I tear your wife's arm off. Just to send a fucking message. And that's why not many people fuck with me. And these other guys that I've been talking about for 3 days, they do exactly the same, but they're very distant from it. They're having lunch with the president when it happens. Or Ackerman. Or Kleinfeld. Or somebody. Success leaves clues. All these guys are ruthless cocksuckers. How many fucking times do I have to say it to get it through your thick fucking Germanic skulls? These guys play for real. They play hardball. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do any of those things. But if you're going to take their fucking money, you better learn the mambo or samba, whatever the Italians do, You better learn to dance. There's plenty of money in the world. Okay, and this is just a distribution of, and let's see, where's the fatherland? The fatherland's right there, isn't it? The green or blue? Isn't that Germany right there?
The blue, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And the blue, and so you're in a high GDP. You already know that. And a lot of these places you don't need to go because there's no fucking money. That's the essence of that of the globe. And Australia, well, they don't have as much money, but that's because I guess what's the Aboriginal population now of Australia?
A couple of 100,000.
Okay, it's not too many, but there's only how many? 20 million in Australia? Yeah. So it's not too many. How many in Germany? 60 million? 80 million. And how much in the south and how much in the north?
More to the south.
More money's in the south. Although he was trying to say that,
Probably Google it since.
Yeah. Now, when we're looking for money, there was a book written a number of years ago, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. What you have learned about raising money is either one, but it's the opposite of reality. It's the opposite. Now, I'm not talking about friends, fools, family, and schmucks. What you've learned about that is for friends, fools, family, and schmucks. Because it's not hard to take their money. And you don't even have to produce a return. And they'll give you years and years and years and years. And nobody's probably going to sue you, and nobody's going to threaten your life. But other than the friends, fools, families, and schmucks, that's what we're going to talk about now. How you take the money to help assist you in fulfilling your dream, which by definition you have to make them part of your dream then. You got to kiss a lot of frogs. Okay. We're going to talk the rules of the game. Or rules by... And there are rules here. Where I said there was no rules, there are rules. Because there's certain things that... there are rules that if you want to be successful at this. I'm not talking about the, if you don't want to be successful, then, you can still friends, fools, families, and schmucks. Now, there are investments that guys get involved in that getting seed capital from friends, fools, family, and schmucks is enough to get your deal done. And do little deals, a few 100,000, a few million euros, and keep rolling that up. And then after 20, 30 years, maybe you do a 30 or 40 million euro, and by that time you're probably dead. Okay. But if you want to make a leap and not have to go through, the most important thing is your first deal. But if you want to make a leap, as did Rick Scott, who we saw, my former lawyer who's running for governor in Florida, his first deal was 1.3 billion. His second deal was failed. His second deal was 3 or 4 billion, which was successful. His third deal was 11 billion, which was successful. And of course, he's using the equity that he created from the leverage into the next deal. Plus, it's easier to get investors. It's easier to get investors, when you got millions of equity as opposed to, your credit card balance has equity in the deal.
And his first deal from scratch was
1.3. Yeah, he and another guy put up 100 grand each. Yeah, 1.3 billion. It was a failure. It was a hospital. He built the biggest hospital. He had 350,000 employees. He had about 20 billion in revenue. This is at the end when they threw him out. He had. He was the biggest hospital holding company in the world from scratch. He did it in about 7-8 years. 7-8 years. And his first year in revenue was 49 million, which, and where do you think he got the 50 million idea of first year in revenue? I wonder where he got it from. But he did 49 million his first year in revenue.
Bought hospital.
He bought a hospital. That's right. But he did buy a hospital. I got a contract. He bought a hospital. He actually bought a few hospitals. Because one hospital doesn't, unless it's a huge hospital, doesn't do 50 million in revenue. Okay. All questions will be answered, and every doofus project can be funded. Period. I need 2 volunteers now. Okay. We're going to start off with a hypothetical case. I need 2 volunteers. Okay, Rufus and Doofus. Okay, no. I said 2. Rufus and Doofus. I said 2. Wake up.
After.
After. Okay, this is the scenario. You've got you want to buy 25-unit apartment building in Germany. Doesn't matter where it is. Okay, it's got 75% occupancy rate. 75% occupancy. Let's make it 80% occupancy rate so it works out, so that you don't have to do fractions. Okay, it's an 80% occupancy rate. They're asking 100,000 euros per apartment. So 100,000 times 25 for the purchase price. You've raised from friends, fools, family, and schmucks. You've raised $500,000 in equity. You have signed a letter of intent, and you have 60 days to perform. 60 days to perform. You have no track record with a bank. This is your first deal. We have 3 banks. We have Deutsche. We have the Allianz, and we have local Herman Bank. local Herman Bank that, you know, you see at the local...
How do you spell Yoko?
Local yokel, where you go to the football, matches, and you see them, and that your kids go to school together, and you may be banging his wife, you know. Okay.
Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Makes it a lot easier. Okay. Now. What bank? Okay, first of all, which bank would you? Now, just you two guys, remember. Which bank would you go to first?
Not joking around. This third bank. I didn't because yes, because I laughed so loud. The other sentence was I was banging the president's wife.
No, you're banging.
So that's.
Yeah. So you have a friendly relationship with the bank. You have a friendly relationship.
Okay. It's a local branch.
Yeah, it's a local branch.
It's not down where you're from.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So which bank are you going to go to first?
The third.
Okay. The third meaning the local yokel.
Yeah.
Would you go to the third bank first?
I have an account at Deutsche Bank, so I would go there.
Okay. Okay. Forgetting the fact that you got an account at Deutsche Bank, you don't have an account. Let's pick another bank. Okay, which bank would you go to if you didn't have an account there? Okay, that's wrong. Okay, we're going to go to the step. Instead of me saying correcting it all at the end, I'm going to correct it at the beginning because I know he's going to have fucking questions. So I'm going to do one. I would start at the toughest bank first so I could practice my presentation.
The least likely one.
Least likely, exactly. I would go to the least likely bank first to practice. Okay, and they're going to say no. Now, if they say yes, that's fine. But I mean, they're going to say no. Okay, then you go to the next least likely. Okay, you practice again, and they're probably going to say no as well. Okay, because as far as I can tell, this would be a small property deal for a Deutsche or an Allianz. Yeah.
How do you figure out which is the least likely?
Oh, well, no, the least likely is the one that's least likely to give you the money because this is, in that case, it's too small of a deal. They have no track record. They have no relationships with the bank, so it's least likely they're gonna lend them the money. It's least likely. And plus, these guys are green. They're not gonna know anything. Virtually not everybody, but almost everybody that comes here is green, and you're gonna be nervous, and so you're gonna make your mistakes with the least likely. Okay, first the big guys first, and in most cases. They may meet you, but they probably won't even open a file because you're not even worth opening a fucking file. So then you can always go back, I used to like to have fun. I used to like to go to a bank that has turned me down or I got in a lawsuit with and get money from another division of them. And I remember being in Dallas and I'm walking through the bank and these guys that I'm in a lawsuit with, they see me walking down the hall. And they just kind of look at me, and then I go to the meeting, and so my partner says, "Do you think they recognize?" Well, I know they recognize me, but I said, "They're too stupid. The big organizations, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing." So then we got funded from another division of the same bank that we're in a lawsuit with. So if you go to the first two banks, they're the least likely first. Then you go to local yokel, okay, and you will gain information from the first two banks. Because if they actually spend some time with you and they allow you an opportunity to explain yourself, they'll say, well, what about this, what about that? And you're taking notes of everything they say. And when you leave the meeting of the bank, you get together as soon as possible. When you get in the car, or in your particular case, you get in your push cart, and you take notes right away. Because you don't want to fucking forget and drive back to Kaiserslautern or wherever the fuck you came from. You want to right then take all the notes down. To go through, what they said, and because there'll be two people in the meeting, you'll have a better perspective of what was really said, as opposed to because we all hear things differently. So you get the information. So now you're prepared to go to local yokel with the answers to the queries that you might not have been fully prepared for when you're at the first bank, Allianz, and Deutsche, or whoever else the bank is. These meetings in the morning are better because the bankers are fresh. They're fresh. No, well, nobody's going to be wanting to take you to fucking lunch. You don't have to worry about it. and certainly nobody's going to be wanting to take you to dinner or anything like that. And you want it to be serious. And if they say, "Oh, I'll meet you for a drink at the Frankfurter Hof," is that still a hotel in Frankfurt?
Yes.
Okay. You don't want. You want a meeting. Okay, a real meeting. And you want to ask. I mean, when you're making the appointment, you want a lending officer. You don't want some. I don't like relationship managers. I don't like this. A lot of bullshit because they can't do anything other than give you half answers. You want a lending officer. You want somebody that can make a lending decision. And one of the first questions you do when you get into Deutsche and Allianz, and this they will never have been asked this in their entire professional career. By the way, Mr. Schmuck, what's your lending limit? That you can personally sign. That you can personally sign. One signature. Lending limit. Some of them will tell you they don't know. If he does know and he tells you, then you tell him, what's the bank's lending limit?
The branches and the
Okay, we'll be in the branch, yeah. What you want to do, and remember, you're interviewing banks. And I'm going to give, after you would pretend to do a little role play here, then I'm going to tell you what you should say when you go into these meetings at the bank. But remember, it's an interviewing process. You're interviewing them. We've had here, I took over chairman as a construction company here many years ago in Scotland. And their overdraft was £5,000. £5,000. And their turnover was about, at that time, a couple $100,000 a month. £5,000. And they had a little Hitler of a manager who, the bank managers in this part of the world are little Hitlers. I mean, they're just terrible to you. And I got him up to a $250,000 overdraft. From 5,000, we made a jump. We went from 5,000 to 50, 50 to 125, 125 to 200, 200 to 250. And it was based on the turnover. You should at least be able to have an overdraft equal to your monthly turnover. So if you do 250 a month, 1 month, you should be able to have an overdraft of 250. That's 1/12 your turnover. Now I stretch it more than that, but I mean you should be able to do that. Anyway, so you have made the appointment now. You've learned from Bank 1, Bank 2. Now you're going into Bank 3, armed with your deal. Okay, now I want you to get a couple chairs out here, and we're going to have. Who wants to be the banker? No, I don't want you to be there. Stefan, you be the banker. Okay. You sit in front of Stefan. Stefan can stay where he is. You just bring chairs out here. Okay, so you've arrived at the bank, you waited in the waiting room 10 minutes, they've now escorted you in either to the conference room or his office, however they do it at the bank. You're now with local yokel. You know him from, because you're from the same village, or the same peasant line, or something, I don't know. And so now, fire away. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Stefan.
Good morning.
Glad you could make it. You make the appointment this morning. I'm happy to see
It's
you.
my office, so I usually make it.
You're supposed to be there.
No, just don't pretend I'm not here. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, fine. I bring my business partner with me, and we'd like to speak about the project with you. And first of all, what we were interested in, because we have some kind of volume in this project, I would like to know your personal lending limit.
So what's the volume of your project?
It's 190 million euros.
Are we not going to do the same thing?
Yeah, we're doing the same thing. What about-
with the real thing.
No, I'm talking about the project I just gave you. It's just the one, 25 million.
Okay, sorry. Then let's keep it on.
Well, the meeting's now over, but anyway.
What we have as rental income here?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
remember I told you the purchase price is
2.5 million.
Yeah, 2.5 million, and it's 80% occupancy rate. And the rental income is let's see, debt service on 2.5 million, it'd be about 8%, 200 a year. The rental income is 300,000 a year. So it'll cover debt service. Isn't 300? Is that too high? 2%?
Well, it's, number one, you only have 80% occupancy.
Okay,
so
no, that's
you only
100%. 300 would be 100%.
Yeah.
So 80% would be 240.
It is too high, but it's okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Then I've got you.
It's more than just 10.6.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so the project volume is 2.5 million.
So how many projects have you successfully done for 2.5 million so far?
Sorry to interrupt you, but I don't waste your time, and I don't want to waste our time. So I would like to speak to the correct person within. So don't feel offended if I ask you what's your personal.
I also wanted to speak to the correct developers we lend our money to, so that's fine.
Yeah, so what's your personal lending limit? You can sign by yourself.
It used to be a lot more when we were branch-based, but unfortunately because of Basel II we are now centrally managed. So the way it works is we prepare, if the branch, if I consider this to be a good situation for the bank to lend, then I will prepare the report. We will then discuss it in the committee of three, and then we will forward it to the head office, which hopefully should only be a formalization of what we propose to them.
But you are not able then to sign this.
It will be my signature in the end, but I just wanted to be transparent with you.
Okay.
That it's not anymore a branch-based system as it used to be.
Yeah. Okay. That's
But
fine.
it will be my
We go
signature.
that paths together anyway. So if you are the fine. Okay, that's fine. And what's the lending limit of the bank? Or
Well,
the branch, let's say.
We have other developers where we have lent more than 100 million to,
Okay.
but obviously they come here with a track record. We have seen what they have done. We see the margins on their investments.
Okay.
And after that, if it's more than 100 million, we usually syndicate it out or intend to securitize it.
Cool. And what's your personal lending limit though?
I think you asked the question before and I gave the answer before.
Yeah.
There isn't a personal.
So-
Personal lending limits are only for overdrafts on a personal account. So there is for the line of business you're talking to, it will always go through our committee in the branch, and then will be forwarded to the head office for approval.
Okay. So I think Kolja is going to tell you something about the project. If you have any questions up front, you can address them to us.
So you're doing that in your own name, this project?
Sorry.
You're doing this as with joint and several liability?
Oh yeah, the project you will say will tell you some details. Roughly, it's a joint company we set up, and we have this opportunity, this deal we want to buy, and he will tell you some details.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a 25 apartment building with 18% occupancy rate, and it makes a rental income of 300,000 a year, and we intend to have mainly financed with our banking partners, and so we
Who
have.
are your current banking partners?
That's you and
We're
hopefully
not partners yet, but
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
obviously
so
trying to establish
you're one
relationship.
You're one of the partners we're looking to, because we also want to have a good interest rate for the project, obviously. And we have already from our own money 500,000 we raised.
So that's your own money, that comes from the two of you personally?
That's raised for the company, yes, from our
As
shareholders.
Yeah, as equity.
So it comes from To you,
It's there. It's equity.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's already paid into the company's
Yes,
bank account.
yes.
Okay.
So, and we have a time frame. We want to establish this of next months to 1.5 months, because then we need all these documents to be signed off for our LOI to hold, and we of course want the other stuff not to be in a too tight time frame. Would that be possible for you to make a decision then? How, if you like the project?
If you have all the documentation we need at hand, so for example, how you generated the 500,000 and so on, then we can take a decision within these 6 weeks, yes.
Yes. And would you consider taking the property as a collateral if we put up all this already collected share money? So the property and the share money would be.
Well, we will find. I mean, yes, it's very good of you to offer both the mortgage and the 500,000 as collateral to the bank. Yes, we would certainly do that.
So, and valuation often of the property, we have some valuer that.
Yeah, maybe this is I've just received a letter, so I can tell this. We have a valuation that's about, let's say,
Let's say. I thought affiliation is a fixed number.
yeah. The valuation is about 2.5, and what we plan on this facility is to get it fully financed. So we would like to have those 2.5 plus 7%. That's roughly 2.65. We are planning to get, and so it's now the question whether you're fine with it.
Okay, so you would transfer the 500,000 which you have in cash as collateral to our bank account, and then you're intending to finance the full 2.5 million.
Yes.
Okay, well, we can look at that. So, which similar projects have you done so far? You obviously have been successful if you generated already 500,000 in equity.
Yes, our specialty, what we set up with our knowledge and our network we have is we have the possibility to raise equity via bonds, throughout mezzanine capital. And so this is where we rose the money. We have it already in the company, and so this is there, and we can. This is for the purpose of doing transactions, and we have this good deal, and the money is there.
Okay, but sorry, just to you repeatedly said that the 500,000 are equity which you have.
Yes.
So there is no obligations to pay interest on them or otherwise.
It's a zero.
Yeah,
it's a fresh company, and it's some kind of zero bond, so they are paid in the end of this deal.
Okay, because if we slightly value equity differently from you having another mezzanine lender.
Yeah, but on the balance sheet, this money is.
On the balance sheet of your company, this money is equity.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, 100%.
100% equity. Yeah. Okay, so the company on the balance sheet does not have any liabilities in respect of that money. Okay.
No.
Okay.